Greetings to you. It's me, Omar Abdul Malik. I'm known as the PA professional, but one of my passions in life is trail running. So in this video, this is my second YouTube video about trail running. I'm going to talk about running hills. Now, in the first video, I talked about the importance or the effect of elevation and terrain and how that affects your trail running. Well, hills are a part of terrain and elevation. Now, like I said, I'm filming this from Washington, D.C. We don't have a lot of elevation here. Highest point might be, a couple of 100 feet, maybe a few hundred, I don't know. But I'm going to show you a hill that I like to run. This is in Rock Creek Park, and you can get a sense of just how steep this hill is coming around here. This is about maybe 200 feet above sea level. Now, the thing about running hills is that it will really toughen you. It'll toughen your legs. I've heard people say, you use different muscles when you're running the hills than when you're running flat. I take issue with the statement. I had anatomy. The same soleus and gastrocnemius muscles that comprise your calf, along with the tibialis anterior, and then the large leg muscles, vastus lateralis and medialis, biceps femoris. They're the same muscles that you use when you're running downhill as opposed to running uphill. Now, what does happen is that you will have different stressors put on different ligaments, just because the forward motion of running uphill. So when you're running uphill, what works for me is leaning my torso, over my center of gravity. I try to let gravity be my friend, because running uphill is very difficult. When I'm running downhill, I may lean back just a little bit, because if you run downhill as fast as you can, you will hurt yourself, especially if you're not used to the terrain. So here you see I think these are 4x4s that are put in the ground here. There's also a lot of rocks and pebbles. There were some fallen logs that I passed by, some couple of boulders in the way, some holes. We've got a lot of animals that dig holes in the woods here. If you're not familiar with the terrain and you're running as fast as you can downhill, you're going to break, twist an ankle, possibly break a leg. So you want to be careful first starting out. Now, it's not necessary to run up the hill as fast as you can. When I used to run marathons, well, I still run marathons, but when I was doing serious marathon training, those are pretty much exclusively run on the road. So I would do track workouts. I'd also run in the street. I didn't have to worry about twisting my ankle. I was also able to pace myself, especially if you're on a track. Your running goals are more quantifiable. You can say, well, I ran 1,600 meters in 5 minutes 30 seconds or whatever. I ran a 100-yard dash in so many seconds. Here, when you're in the trails and when you're running on hill, you really can't quantify. It's difficult to quantify the quality of your run. How fast were you going? I don't know. Pretty fast, I guess. How steep was this hill? I don't know. Maybe a 20-degree gradient. It's difficult to tell. So I would say just run, until you're just a little beyond exhaustion. Don't do too much in the beginning. You will be sore. Again, with hills, there are some hazards to the hills that of which you need to be aware. Another hill hazard is, I don't know, what did I say? Maybe watching out for other runners. If somebody's running downhill as fast as they can, you're running uphill, you don't see them, you run into each other. There's a good thing about hill etiquette. Or not hill etiquette, but trail running etiquette I want to cover in future videos. But I hope you found this, how to run a hill somewhat insightful. I'm going to walk down this hill so you can get an idea of how steep it is. And you probably, I don't know if you, see, I slipped. I don't know if you all will be able to hear me because I'm competing with the very vociferous cicadas that are out here. So this is the bottom of this hill here. So this is about, I'd say maybe close to 200 yards maybe from the beginning of the hill to the top. So typically I think it takes me about, I don't know, 45 seconds to get up this hill. I see some people walking with walking sticks. I'm going to cover trail running equipment in another video. You don't need walking sticks, unless you have, maybe something wrong with your legs. It's a good form of support. I use walking sticks, in the winter when the terrain is icy, or I have some type of injury. But, for hills, you may see people in races walking up the hills. That's an intelligent thing to do. It conserves energy. You're going into a higher gear, as it were, when you're walking, or when you're going uphill. But, see, I think I'm out of shape. That's a very steep hill, and I just kind of walked up it, part of it. So I hope you found this insightful, somewhat insightful. There are much better trail running videos out there. I'd encourage you to look at those as well. If you want any advice or want to share some of your comments or trail running stories, please subscribe to my site. I look forward to talking to you and answering any of your questions. I wish you happy running. God bless you. Take care. Peace.